morning, everyone, and hopefully you're all having a great Saturday so far. Normally we do these streams after the show is over, but I actually made the executive decision to do this one during the show because of the fact that the dangerous cold, at least what we're seeing this morning, is happening really in the worst way right now. So I didn't want to wait until after the show was over to when we at least started to see a slight warm up. I kind of wanted to give people a heads up, especially if they weren't already aware right now. So folks are encouraged to stay weather aware this weekend because of dangerous cold across the Carolinas, and this prolonged dangerous cold will allow for the risk of things like fires in your home if you're having turning the fireplace on and forgetting about it, things like space heaters if you're not taking those precautions, same thing with carbon monoxide poisoning if you're not taking those precautions, frostbite if you're not able to turn the heat on and using those heaters and blankets and things like that to stay safe, as we could see close to 40 hours of temperatures below freezing here in the Charlotte area. We're on hour 12 right now of seeing temperatures below freezing in Charlotte since 9 p.m. last night. We, of course, have been below the freezing mark or at or below the freezing mark. So it's pretty substantial. The current wind chill right now on Beach Mountain is 14 degrees below zero, 3 below in Boone and Jefferson, 9 below for places like Banner, Elk, and Blowing Rock. So it really is substantial cold out there as we're starting off the morning. Across most of the Piedmont, we have seen temperatures for the feels like in the single digits for some places like Morganton, Shelby, over towards Statesville, Salisbury. Right now, we're close to the single digits, but not quite there, which is good news, of course. It's 12 right now for what it feels like in Charlotte, 12 for Shelby, 12 for Statesville, which is similar to what we had on what was the coldest morning of the week? Wednesday morning. 11 for Morganton, 11 for Salisbury, 13 for Rock Hill. So it is really, really bitterly cold still. 8 for North Wilkesboro. So folks in Wilkesboro County are certainly feeling the chill as well as we're starting off the day. So this, of course, substantial cold is expected to continue. I do want to mention this officially. We get these alerts on our phone. There is officially a wind chill advisory in effect through Saturday morning. So essentially the rest of the morning. So it cancels out at noontime for 10 to 15 below for Avery County and the mountains of Burke and Caldwell for 10 to 15 again below for the wind chill, the feels like temperature. This will be the same as what's in Ashe and Watauga County. Because they're under different National Weather Service offices, they just have different thresholds for the official wind chill advisories to be issued. But I just want folks to know that you're still going to see similar forecasts overall. There is also a winter weather advisory in effect for Ashe, Watauga, and Avery County, and that was for the snow, which they've continued to see this morning, and the fact that they've had gusty winds, which we saw especially overnight, and the potential for those wind chill values, and that is going to continue. Now, notice that folks in those same areas, so we're talking Ashe, Watauga, Avery counties, including the mountains of Burke and Caldwell, will likely see wind chills stay below zero most of today and likely even through tomorrow morning, even potentially through midday. Now, in the foothills, we're talking feels like temperatures, upper teens, lower 20s. So the wind will be biting most of the day. For Charlotte, our high forecast is 35. I think it could feel like the mid 20s though, most of the afternoon. So it's not going to feel great outside. If you're in the direct sunshine, yes, it can help, but it's still not going to feel wonderful. And then tomorrow morning, I do think our wind chills could even be a few degrees lower than what we've seen this morning. Still, of course, expecting similar 10 to 15 below in the mountains, and again, the mountains of Burke and Caldwell, but then even a few degrees lower, 6 potentially in Charlotte, places like Morganton, Hickory, outlying areas like Albemarle, parts of Stanley County, Rowan County, York County, could certainly get close to very close to zero. So it's going to be really, really cold. Thankfully, Sunday afternoon, the wind will begin to die down and eventually the temperature will start to increase once again. We'll actually be 35 today with a wind chill in the mid 20s, but tomorrow, finally, the high will return back to around 40. So we will start to see an eventual warm up. Now, I mentioned the snow. Yesterday, we had some really great snowfall totals Friday and overnight. It's been a little bit snowy in a few spots so far this morning, not quite as much, but there is the potential for a few additional snowfall totals of 1 to 2 inches, especially at those highest elevations near the Tennessee border. Again, it's not a ton, but it's a few areas with additional totals. So places like Beach Mountain, Sugar Mountain, Grandfather Mountain, likely going to see an additional 1 to 2. But look what they had yesterday: 10 inches on Beach Mountain, 9 on Sugar Mountain, 6 on Banner Elk, and then Boone, Blowing Rock about 2 to 3. So a little bit lower there. I mean, but still, that's pretty good snow, especially based on the fact that Beach Mountain had 14 inches on Monday. So they've seen plenty over the last few days. So likely again, only in those 3 counties at those highest elevations, and that'll be over the next 48 hours, mostly today and tonight, but we could see a few flakes even into a Sunday afternoon because, of course, we know it's still going to be very, very cold. Now, the coldest temperature so far this morning, we still could drop a degree or two more once we get the official data, but 23 is the official low temperature, at least so far this morning, 35 this afternoon. But remember, we are going to see those wind chills stay into the mid 20s this afternoon. High temperature again 35. 14 is the official low temperature forecast tonight, but it could feel like the single digits and even close to 5 degrees. So, again, not pleasant. Thankfully, the winds do lower as we hit the afternoon hours, and it is going to overall be a relatively pleasant afternoon on Sunday compared to today. So, not too bad. Lower winds, 41, more sunshine. Then we see a substantial pattern flip. An approaching cold front is going to move toward the area by midweek and stall, and really warm, moist air comes in from the south. And you will be thinking, where the heck are we? Because things will be so, so different. So just know that a pretty big change is going to be on the way. But before we get there, I just want to show you the low temperature forecast for tonight. This is not the wind chill forecast. These are the low temperatures. So 2 to 6 up in Ashwaubenon and Avery County. Again, with that northwest wind around 11, that's what's going to drop those feels like temperatures once again to 10 to 15 below zero. For the foothills, 10 to 14 likely for the actual air temperature. Again, those areas will feel like the single digits, probably between 1 to 5 for the feels like temps across the Charlotte area. Pretty similar. Around 14 is my official forecast. And if we actually do drop to 14, it would be the coldest we've seen so far this season. And then for the Sandhills, maybe a degree or two warmer, but I mean, maxing out at 14. Maxing out at 17. It's still not feeling great as we, of course, get toward tomorrow morning. So I worked the 4 p.m. last night, and Nick Sturdivant, one of our new anchors, said, I've never been so happy to see 50 degrees. And I actually agree with him. Monday morning, we'll have a low of 20 and a high of 50. And I'm definitely agreeing with him that I've never been so happy to see 50. It will be a little bit warmer than Tuesday, a little bit warmer than that. But that will kind of start the trend of seeing a more rain back in the forecast. I think we could see a little bit of sunshine Tuesday morning, but definitely more clouds building in by the afternoon. Tuesday is one of those weird days where we do see dry conditions for most of the daylight hours, but then we do bring in rain overnight. So I didn't want to put no chance of rain on the 7 day because I didn't want you guys to be like, what the heck, Brittany, are you talking about if it starts to rain, around 6 once the sun goes down? And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, look how much temperatures warm up. We go from 35 today to this time next week, a high of 70. So we're doubling the high temperature. But of course, that's going to come with the stalled cold front, the really warm, moist air coming in from the deep south and the Gulf of Mexico. This is going to be a substantial warm up. And of course, it's going to come with that opportunity for rain too. Still working out the details a little bit on which day is exactly going to be the wettest, which is very common with the stalled cold front. But we certainly know at this point we're turning wetter and we are turning warmer. So we encourage folks to stay weather aware again today and tomorrow due to the prolonged cold. This will be close to 39 plus hours of below freezing temperatures, and that's not even including the wind chill. Again, this will cause an above average risk for things like fires, space heater issues, of course, can cause fires, carbon monoxide poisoning, issues, of course, with keeping warm. So frostbite, hypothermia can also be an issue for folks, especially up in the mountains who will be outside for long periods of time. Dangerous wind chill, like the word dangerous itself, doesn't have an official title, like from the National Weather Service. And so everybody's, level of cold is relative, but I think we can all agree that wind chills below zero are dangerous. So those folks in the mountains, especially, please bundle up, put plenty of layers on, especially if you are going to be outside today. And hopefully we'll all get through this weekend. Bundle up, stay safe, stay indoors if you can, stay close, use that warmth, cuddle up with the pets. Make sure, of course, they're inside too. Protect your pipes. Try to take any precaution to make sure those don't freeze over. And we eventually will warm up, and you will be thinking, what cold by this time next week, especially because we as humans oftentimes do have a little bit of a short term memory change. So 35 today. By Friday, we'll be talking about rain and temperatures close to 70. I hope everybody has a great rest of your Saturday. Please, again, stay safe, stay weather aware today and tomorrow, and we'll see you back on Wake Up Charlotte weekend starting at 8:30, going on till 10. And we're back tomorrow morning from 6 to 8 and again from 9 to 10. Stay safe. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns about the forecast right here in the comments or social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, email. You know what to do. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. And again, stay safe, stay weather aware.